Solo himself, Harrison Ford. Sir, good to have you here. OK.
Thank you.
So I think you can tell there's a certain amount of excitement that you're here with us.
Well, I'm grateful. Thank you.
OK.
Thank you.
How's it been? How the premiere's been? There was the Star Wars premiere in LA initially, and you've had the big one in London. How were the crowds? How was the event?
It was good. The fans are enthusiastic, and it was a very warm welcome we got.
There must have been, I'm sure you were aware of the level of anticipation.
I was.
OK. Is that something you factor in when you accept a part like this, or is that something that was maybe even off-putting before you decided to become Han Solo again?
No, Jonathan, I'm in it for the money.
well, we have to admire your honesty there. I don't think that's entirely the truth. You can perhaps see from...
I admire what you're doing. I'm sorry.
No,
Just
go
a
ahead.
moment.
Go ahead.
I really admire what you're doing. I'm grateful.
Thank you.
for it. Thank
That's very nice. That's good. Well, so now, Harrison's got your back as well.
I've just got the best ally on the planet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What about David's work? Are you familiar with David?
Not so much.
That's OK.
But he probably hasn't seen it. We'll give you a tape. He's a brilliant comedian. You'll love him.
Say something funny. Come on. Come on. Oh, shit, never
Well,
mind.
he's got shy because... But you know, Harrison, you know why he's shy? Because he... OK.
That's funny.
Harrison, he had a picture of you on his wall when he was a young man.
Many pictures.
Oh, thank you.
And I brought them tonight and
Did you?
hoping that you may sign them later.
Not much chance of that.
Well, I did tell you.
And I was going to auction them for a children's charity,
Oh, yeah.
so that's a shame.
That's funny. That's funny.
You see,
Yeah.
apart from the cash, then, what made you decide to do Han Solo again? Because I've seen the film, ladies and gentlemen, OK, and seeing you back on screen in that role was just so exciting. So for fans, it's a big moment. But at the same time, you know, you're such a respected actor elsewhere. So for you to want to come back, there must have been a change in the character, something in the story of this new film that you wanted to be involved with.
Yeah, I think there was. I was just glad to be involved in it. I mean, obviously, Star Wars has been very, very good to me. It gave me a career that I have enjoyed, and all the opportunities have proceeded from the, attachment to the success of Star Wars. So when George called and asked if I might be interested in coming back, I said, yeah, why not? Basically, sitting around waiting for somebody to give me the job.
Well, the phone rang.
Sure, yeah.
But I imagine you don't strike me as the sort of person who would have been a fan of science fiction or science fiction cinema previous to that.
Not so much. There is science fiction that I really enjoyed, but I can't say that I was a fan of the genre.
Yeah.
But I don't think of Star Wars as science fiction, really.
Well, it kind of created its own genre, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you ever think, when you were making the movie, because now, with the benefit of hindsight, you think, of course it would have been huge, but there must have been times when you were filming in Tunisia or over here, and you're talking to a dwarf riding around in a bucket and a tall guy dressed in gold and another bloke covered in hair. There must have been times when you thought, this is going to be terrible.
The only thing I thought is that this is better than a real job.
And indeed it turned out to be. Yeah. Let's have a look at a picture of you in the new movie. OK, well, first of all, I want to show an old picture because this is Harrison back in the day as Han Solo with Chewbacca. OK, so look, that is like an archetypal image. And now we have a picture of the two of you together now in the new movie, OK? And I've got to be honest, you're doing well for your age, but, man, Chewie is ageing fabulously.
He's had some work done.
Because he should look more like this, I was thinking. That's kind of how... Legitimately, if he wasn't in Hollywood, that's what he'd look like. We want to play a little game with you, a little Star Wars game.
Okay. I'm not going to be good at this.
Well, don't go in like that. Go in think
sorry.
you could win. Okay. I want to see whether or not you can tell the sound of a real Wookiee from something else that sounds a bit like a Wookiee.
Okay.
Because people have been putting these online.
All right.
When they hear something that occurs, it sounds a bit Wookiee-esque. They've been filming them, uploading them, and I thought it'd be fun to see whether you could tell, without looking, what it is. So David and Jamie, feel free to join in. I'm going to give you these things. So we've got on here, is it a Wookiee or is it a fake Wookiee, which I'm calling a Fookie? OK? Yeah. So you're Wookiee or Fookie?
Yeah, do I get one of those?
You get one of those,
Yeah.
pass them down to the boys there.
Please.
OK, I've got one as well. I don't know what
you.
order they're playing. So let's play the first sound. Feel free to play along at home. OK, so let's see whether that was a Wookiee or a Fookie. OK.
That's right.
Well, no, that was not. That was a chair being pushed back in. But confusingly, they'd stuck a Wookiee's face on the chair. Yeah, I know. We'll get easier. OK, here's another one. That's got to be, hasn't it? OK, let's see. That was a Wookiee. You've got them both wrong so far. You've met him and you're getting them wrong.
It sounds a lot different in a really expensive show.
Yeah. Well, just for that, I'm going to make you hear another one now. You know that, don't you? OK, let's hear one more.
Okay. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Alison, jeez. What have you been eating in space? OK, I'm saying Fookie.
Fookie.
OK, let's have it. What is it? That was a tap.
It's a temp.
OK, one more. Here we go. Hey, no conferring! What are you doing? No conferring. What do you say? What are you going to go with? You go with... OK? OK, let's just see what that was, because I think that's pretty good. OK.
That's good.
I've got no idea what the scores are, but I would like to thank you all for playing along.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was... OK, David. You were pretty on it, considering the cheapness of the show.
Yeah.
Jamie has sat next to Harrison for quite a long time now.
OK, you like to switch over? OK. You like to do that? Is that okay?
There you go, that's
Well, I'd like to sit over here if I can just have a little sit down as well. What is Harrison for?
not fair. This is awkward.
OK.
Sorry.
Go on, give us a bit then. Harrison, you know, do you get people...
It's all a little bit wrong.
Harrison. You know what? Yeah. You know, in our country, you're married now. You know that, don't you? Harrison, what a remarkable career you've had, because it's not just the Star Wars films, but the Indiana Jones movies as well. I mean, what an incredible adventure, you know. And I loved the last one as well. I'm hoping you will make another one, and I've read anyway, I don't know if it's true, that you would be open to that.
We're working on it.
Wow. Yeah. So working on a script, or...?
Well, we're hoping that, you know, a couple of ideas that are floating around will gel, and I know that Steven's interested, and so hopefully it will happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that would be fantastic to get the whip back out and get. Do you have any memorabilia?
What's the bit you like?
I like the whip. Well, the whip is the best thing, wasn't it? The cool whip. Well, you must like the whip, don't you, Harrison?
Not personally. But thank you for asking.
Here's the thing, I've just remembered. I was alarmed because I'd been following the filming, the news of the filming of the new Star Wars film in the papers, and then one day we get the story that you had been involved in an accident while filming on board the Millennium Falcon. Quite a serious accident from the sound of things. What happened there?
I was just standing in the doorway talking to J.J. Abrams, our director. The camera hadn't been set up, but I was wearing my costume, ready to go to work. And because we had a big budget this time, the original film, the door, if there had been a door, it would have been closed with a pulley and a stagehand just closing it like that. But now we had lots of money and technology, and so they built a fucking great hydraulic door which closed at light speed, and somebody said, I wonder what this is. And the door came down and hit me on my left hip because I was turned to my right, and it flung my left leg up and dislocated my ankle, and then as it drove me down to the floor, my leg slapped on the ramp up to the Millennium Falcon and broke both bones in my left leg.
Whoa. So serious.
Sort of.
Pretty bad. I mean...
Duh.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
But you know, normally actors, you don't expect them to get injured on a set like that, in that way.
No. You expect them to
And I can
do
imagine...
that shit at home.
Yeah.
In their own time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we around. But the guys involved, whoever pressed that button, they must have, OK, I may well have just killed Han Solo. OK? That's not a thing you want to carry around with you. Who did it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know.
He's probably in a witness protection program right now.
No, I mean, I know he feels as badly about it as you do.
Yeah.
At least. Wasn't you, was it?
No.
So, what were you calm? Did you manage to stay calm while this was going on? And when you phoned your wife, what was her reaction?
I actually didn't phone my wife right then. I did ask if, while we were waiting for the ambulance, which they said was going to take me by road to London, which I'd just spent an hour and a half in the car coming, and I thought, why don't I just see? And I said, could I have my cell phone? It's right over there. And they brought me my cell phone, and I had been thinking about, I fly helicopters, and so I had been thinking about bringing my helicopter over here. And I'd been talking to a guy who I met by chance because I was walking through the park in front of the American Embassy, and there was a helicopter sitting in the middle of the park. I said, wow, what's this? And I went over to look at it, and the guys who were the pilots were nearby, and one of them recognized me and came over and said, I'm Rob Purnell. I'm the guy you've been talking to on the phone about bringing your helicopter over. He said, well, I'm flying a temporary job here. I'm part of London Emergency Medical and National Health thing. His number was in my cell phone. So I said, hey, Rob. He said, hi. He said, what you doing? I said, well, funny you should ask. You think maybe, and sure enough.
So they came and got you. I'm surprised they didn't just get you one. I mean, you know...
Budget.
So they had the money for the foot-crushing door, but not the money to get the guy to hospital.
My point, exactly.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the crash involved as well, because this, once again, was an extraordinary news story, and everyone's, you know...
Okay, the left leg is in the door, and the right leg was in the airplane crash.
So because you're a pilot, you fly for pleasure, I guess, as well as sometimes to help people like that. What happened? You had an engine failure, I believe.
I was taking off from Santa Monica Airport. I was 800 feet in the air, and the engine quit.
Wow.
And a built-up congested area, and so I turned back to the airport. And I knew when I turned back that I wasn't going to make it, but there was a nearby golf course, so I went to the golf course. And
it was potentially could have been a very, very serious situation, not just for you, but for the people in that area.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to land on anybody. And I didn't want to hurt anybody on the ground. I didn't want to, actually, really want to hurt myself either. Yeah. So I thought the golf course.
Well, we have a picture of the landing. It wasn't the most elegant-looking landing, I guess, but under the circumstances, I imagine that's about as good as you could hope for, wouldn't it be? That's a small plane as well.
It's a World War II trainer,
Wow.
for a Navy trainer from the United States. Yep.
So that's an old prop plane. That's an old kind of propeller plane.
Same age I am.
Oh, well,
yeah, old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still functioning. Not anymore, but, you know, it was still functioning before you flew it and crashed it.
Well, it crashed.
Yeah.
I was in it. I was absolved of any responsibility for the failure of the engine to run. Okay. And I count myself as a lucky guy, except I broke my other goddamn leg.
I had a similar thing happen to me. I was knocked off my scooter recently in town. And my wife afterwards said, I don't want you riding that scooter anymore.
Yeah.
Now, did you have that conversation at home? Not about me, about you in the plane and...
I'm tracking.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. My wife, who's a wonderful lady, understands my passion and for aviation, understands what it means to me, and flies with me to this day.
Wow. So she knows you know what you're doing, and she knows what it means to you to keep on doing it.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah. Do you have, I know it seems like this perhaps is sort of a silly question, but do you have a favourite among your films? Not necessarily the way that we feel about it, but the work that you did on screen. Which one do you look back on with the most pride, if there is one?
God, I just don't think of it that way. I've got 5 kids. I don't have a favorite kid. I've got 9, well, now 8 airplanes, and I don't have a favorite one of those.
That's not quite the same as the children, really, is. I mean, they kind of... It sort of devalued the thing you said about your kids now a little bit there. Your youngest, is he 14, Liam, or is he 15?
Just turned 15.
Just turned 15?
Yeah.
Is he excited about Star Wars, or is it weird for him because you're part of it?
Both. He'd seen the first one that we did, and then when when I made the film and it was about to be seen, he and his friends sat down and watched a bunch of them, and then he was able to go to the premiere the other night in Los Angeles with a couple of his friends, 3 or 4 of his friends, and other of my children, and I think he really had a good time. And I think that was the first time it was sort of fun for him. Yeah.
That's a lovely thing, isn't it?
It was cool. Yeah. I was really happy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed were you not to get to work with Jar Jar Binks? Okay. No Jar Jar. Harrison, it's been lovely having you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And the film is out everywhere, of course, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Harrison Ford, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.